All right, ladies and gents, it's Earl the Money Coach, and I want to talk about long term care. A lot of folks don't talk about it, but let me have four figures I want you guys to know. Number one is 70%. 70% of people over the age of 65 are going to need long term care. All right, number two is 42%, and that's Medicaid. Americans have 42% of their needs covered by long term care via their Medicaid, which means there's still almost 60% that has to come out of their pocket. Number three is 475 billion. That's how much money is spent yearly just on long term care. And number four is 3.2 years. The average span of someone to need long term care is a little bit over 3 years. Now, why are these figures so important? Because a lot of people don't calculate long term care. We say health is wealth. All right. A lot of people lose their health trying to get wealthy, but then they have to use their wealth trying to get their health back. All right. We don't want to do that. Me being in the financial industry, one of the biggest things that I see is a lot of folks will have a retirement, a 401k, IRA. They may have some strategies, but then they get sick and have to use their retirement funds to take care of their health issues. So that's why it's so important because look at it. Like I said, 70% of people over the age of 65 are going to have a long term care need. So most people that are going to need long term care as they get older are not prepared. Now, how do you have long term care? How is it activated? Well, there's six things. It's called the ADLs, which is your activity of daily living. If you need help to use the bathroom, you need help to drive, if you need help to transfer and move, if you need help to take a shower, if you need help for your clothes, doing your basic needs, there's six ADLs which needs to be taken care of. And if you can't do two of those six, then you could have long term care kick in to help you out. The reason why that's so important is because what happens for most of us? Most of us don't have the money for a nursing home, don't have money for nursing assistants. I could personally speak to this. My father, before he passed away, was in a nursing home for 3 years from 2006 to 2009, and it was $8,000 a month. So we're talking about 96 to $100,000 a year just for his nursing home. So in 3 years, that's $300,000. How many people could afford that? That's where your long-term care could kick in. And when you have long-term care, especially through like a life insurance, or even if it's standalone, a lot of times they could give you 2% monthly, 3% monthly. A lot of times we always go with the 2%. So if you have $500,000 of life insurance, you could get 2% monthly, which is 10K a month, which could take care of a lot of your stuff. That's why it's so important to have that in play, because you never know what could happen. Because like you said, Medicaid isn't going to be enough. Like you said, my family's not going to be able to help me. This is what you're thinking. So you need to have something in play. And look, $475 billion is actually every year put into long-term care needs. You don't want to be that statistic. You don't want to have to save for 15, 20, 30 years and then unfortunately have to dip into your savings just to stay healthy. All right. And then for 3 years, think about it. How many people could afford to leave their job to take care of their loved ones for 3 years? Not many people could do that. But that's what a lot of people do. They can't afford a nursing home. They can't afford a nursing assistant to come out a couple times a week. So the family ends up taking care of the parents or the loved one that needs help. And that drains people's pockets. You know, you're pretty much becoming a caretaker and a caregiver for your own family. And that's a 24/7 consistent need to take care of someone. So this is why we say having long-term care is so important to have it. And there's two major ways. Like I said, you can have it in your life insurance. A lot of life insurances have living benefits, which could be critical, chronic, and terminal. Not all. So make sure your life insurance comes with critical, chronic, and terminal, because you want to have that chronic illness rider. Some of them have them built in. Some life insurances do not have them built in. So you want to check to make sure you have that long-term care rider so you could get that long-term care benefit within your life insurance. Or you can get it standalone. You can get a standalone long-term care that you're paying for just to take care. God forbid something happens, you have that long-term care benefit that you could use in case anything were happen until that money is used up. It could give you kind of a little buffer to make sure that everything's good to go. So I love talking about long-term care to you guys and all my clients because it's one thing a lot of people don't factor in. They factor in, I need a retirement. They factor in a will and a trust. They factor in making sure their homes are good, passing on generational wealth to their kids and their family. But they don't factor in getting sick. They don't factor in if you need help with something. They're not factoring in all these doctor visits. They're not factoring in that, look, I may need help to use the bathroom and change clothes as I get older. People aren't factoring that in, and that's a huge chunk. Because, like I said, Medicaid only covers about 42% of it. So where are you coming up with the rest? When then you know the cost of everything for taking care of stuff financially on the medical side is astronomical. So make sure you have long-term care in play. Make sure you have something like that that could work. Reach out to me if you need some more help or more information on long-term care, and I'll see you at the top.